You're this perp back with another video, and I finally got around to checking out Terrifier 3, the long awaited, most anticipated horror movie for me to drop this year. I will be doing a spoiler discussion this Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so don't expect any spoilers in here. I'm just going to give you my first initial thoughts and just my reaction to this whole entire movie, man. I couldn't be more excited going into this movie because, man, this franchise is turned into something really crazy. And what I love about these films the most, I talked about this on the video that I made earlier this month, where I was talking about what makes the Terrifier movies great. And man, this is one hell of a trilogy. Not necessarily a complete trilogy for Sienna, but just a complete trilogy just to kind of introduce people to just who Art the Clown is, man. This movie had everything and more. It's another reason why I love these movies is they deliver on what's promised. Nothing is compromised. Nothing is censored. Anything goes in a Terrifier movie, and they really show that with the opening scene, which happens to be the most controversial scene of the movie. Damien Leone, he tried to take this to a major distributor. They were just trying to make him change that scene and make these movies less violent. They were going to reboot. No, this is what makes these movies great, is that they can just be completely uncensored and just do whatever the fuck they want. Now I yap too much. You want to know what this story is? This picks up 5 years from the second movie, and I really like how they really show that not only the time has changed, we got more of a budget here. So Sienna is really dealing with like a lot of psychological trauma from Art, and also dealing with a lot of pressures of just trying to be normal and not think about things. Even though she sees her dead friends, she's just haunted by this whole encounter with Art. Same goes for Jonathan in this, and he is completely changed. He's in college. Interesting enough, his roommate's girlfriend Mia is absolutely obsessed with the whole Miles County clown, and is obsessed with Jonathan, even is obsessed with Sienna. Too obsessed with this whole true crime thing, to the point where, she might get what she deserves, or gets what she is wishing for, as far as being a fan of Art the Clown and just the whole scenario of this. And it definitely shows you how exploitive these things are, and we constantly see that in a lot of these movies, where they have that kind of message where people go through these traumatic things, and you'll have people out there exploiting them. You know what I'm saying? It's really interesting that they kind of put that in this movie. And Sienna now has to kind of go live with her Aunt Jessica. She's just getting out of rehab. She's getting out of psychiatric care and stuff, all that. And she has a cousin named Gabby. Gabby really looks up to Sienna as like a superhero, or just a role model, you know what I'm saying? And they're very similar. They're both into creating things art wise and whatnot. She really cares about Sienna, and she's pretty much the only one that genuinely gives a fuck about her well-being, even going as far as to reading her diary. And yes, Sienna pretty much keeps a track of all of her like kind of events leading up to these moments. And another interesting thing here is Jonathan has kind of gotten away from digging more into the clown and how to defeat it. That's an interesting kind of thing that goes on in this movie as well. I'm not going to go too in depth with that because I don't want to talk about spoilers, but that's interesting. Just giving him a different character motivation. I think this time around Jonathan is a much stronger character in this compared to the second movie. Sienna, Laura Rivera does a fantastic job just displaying what Sienna is going through psychologically. And Art the Clown, man, he is the star of the show all the time. Him and Sienna are the stars of the show. He really brings out the brutality with that opening scene, and it's really not what I expected. You know what I'm saying? It is very vicious. Like, there's quite a few kills in here, kill scenes that definitely rival the bedroom scene, and that mall scene definitely lived up to it. Like, I would say there wasn't one disappointing kill, and there were some kills that were off screen, and I feel like that's deliberate to kind of give a different get a kind of a different emotion out of Sienna, because she gets put into a scenario that's very interesting, that makes you think, like, is this character really gone, or is this kind of a setup? Because there's definitely going to be a fourth Terrifier, so there's definitely things that are left on the table with this movie. This movie isn't as long as 2. I feel like the story kind of flows better. There's a good amount of kills. There's a good amount of violence in between. Nothing really felt drug out, in my opinion. I think this is the correct budget, as far as what a Terrifier movie should look like at this day and age. And I don't think they necessarily have to throw too much more money into like a Terrifier 4, but what they were able to do with a lot of the practical effects in this were really dope. A lot of brutal fucking kills. I can't wait to see this again, because there's a lot of things that they dive into, not only with Sienna's backstory, her the supernatural connection that she has with not only Art, just the supernatural in general is really fascinating. And it kind of makes more sense going into this movie than the second one, because in the second one it's just like, like, she gets all these mystical powers, but they kind of really dive more into that, and I want to talk about that on my spoiler discussion. But overall, this movie was fantastic. I was really pleased with just it being in this Christmas setting, Art being Santa Claus for the majority of the time, and him even meeting Santa Claus. That whole interaction was fucking hilarious, in my opinion. And man, it just such a great, just overall movie. I feel like each movie they have improved on the acting and even just the story, but just also keeping true to what these movies are. It's not afraid to go over the top or feel cheesy. It just embraces what it is. But I want to know your thoughts if you get around to checking out Terrifier 3. This is just my brief kind of thoughts on this movie. Let me know how you guys feel about it in the comments below. Till next time, I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.